Get ready.
We can start. Meeting will come to order. Do you rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Donna Stedovan.
Here.
Lisa Nope.
Here.
Melanie Arbogast.
Here.
Lyle Net.
Here.
Debbie Terrian.
Here. Everyone is present. I am seeking approval of the February 13, 2014 board meeting minutes. Have a motion, is there a second?
I'll support.
Have a motion, a second, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Does the board have any perfection of the agenda? No perfection of the agenda? I would like to welcome our House Representative, Colleen Lamont is here, and our County Commissioner, Mr. Ken Mahoney, is here. I think that's all of you today. Everybody received their reports. We'll move down to the agenda items. The first item is board review members. We approved this list in December 9th of 2013. I since found out when I was reading the book we just got that the oath of office, which I knew they had to take, actually needs to be taken within 10 days of their appointment. So I did print off where the recommendation of the MTA is that the members are reappointed by the Township Board and then the oath is administered. So I am seeking that. The list is the same: Susan Winnicky, Sharon Hoover, Susan Derby, and alternate Wendy Henderson. The date of their expiration would be December 31st, 2015 still. Everything's the same in that regard. So I'm seeking a motion to adopt DOC 031014-04, approving the list of board review members for the term ending December 31st, 2015. Do I hear a motion? Is there support?
I'll support.
Debbie?
We
Okay.
did it at the same time.
Debbie supports. Roll call, please.
Debbie.
Yes.
Don.
Yes.
Lisa.
Yes.
Melanie.
Aye.
Lyle.
Yes.
Motion carried. The next thing on,
Yep, the next two items I will be abstaining from voting on.
okay, thank you. The next thing on the agenda is the clerk's letter of resignation, which I will read. It's addressed to the Blue Lake Township Board. Dear Blue Lake Township Board, please accept this letter as a formal notification of my resignation. I will be leaving my position of Blue Lake Township Clerk on April 30th, 2014. I appreciate the opportunities, guidance, and support while I have been with Blue Lake Township. Sincerely, Lisa F. Knope. In order for this to be effective, the board does have to accept this letter, and I will give it a document number, DOC 031014-05. Do I hear a motion to accept DOC 031014-05?
I move that we accept that document number.
Is there support?
I'll support.
Roll call, please.
Lyle.
Yes.
Debbie.
Yes.
Melanie.
Aye.
Don.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yes.
And Lisa has abstained from anything, including discussion, so. Motion is carried. The next item is regarding an ad we need to place in order to move forward. This is document number 031014-06, and as Lyle kindly corrected my word ad, to take out my extra D. An ad will be placed in the Muskegon Chronicle, White Lake Beacon, and on the township website as follows. Please send a letter of interest and resume to the attention of the supervisor at 1491 Owassipee Road, Twin Lake, Michigan, 49457, This must be received by March 31st, 2014 by 12 noon, after which time no additional applicants will be considered. Applicants must be a qualified elector of Blue Lake Township and registered to vote. Applicants will be considered at the April 14, 2014, 7 p.m. board meeting. And I'm seeking a motion with support to approve document 031014-06. Is there support?
I'll support.
Roll call, please.
Don,
Yes.
Debbie,
Yes.
Lyle,
Yes.
Melanie.
Aye.
I'd just like to ask a question about that. You're not gonna put any requirements down, or?
That's something the board will have to decide as we move forward with the process. I just put simply the requirement, and this is upon attorney recommendation, simply the requirement of what they have to be regarding Blue Lake Township.
When will we do that?
April 14th, 2014, when we're considering the applications.
I don't like that method, but I think we need to discuss that as a board separate from a public meeting.
You cannot discuss that separate from a public
The
meeting.
requirements we can.
I believe you're mistaken, I certainly can check with the attorney, but my understanding is it has to be in an open meeting, and if your meeting as a board is still as open to the Freedom of Information Act, so I can definitely check, but, yeah, Debbie's.
Well, I would just like, I mean, we just kind of went over the letter of resignation without saying anything, and I would just like to say that I think that Lisa was a very good person to work in the office with us, and I appreciate everything that she did and all the hard work that she did. Thank you.
I support that, and anything else regarding that? Yes, Lisa, thank you. The next one is an interesting one. This is the White Lake Ambulance Authority proposed budget. The reason it's interesting is we have a right to look this over and make recommendations to the authority regarding proposed changes or anything like that. They, however, don't have to take those recommendations, we just have to make them. Am I correct in understanding what came out of the mediation?
Yes.
So, here is the budget, it's the first 2 pages. And I will tell you quite honestly, me looking at this, I would have no idea how to even propose recommendations regarding someone else's budget. So, we have a choice here of making recommendations or choosing to not make recommendations or doing nothing. If we do nothing, then the authority still proceeds with their budget as normal. It's not required that we do answer. Did I get all that right, Don?
Right.
Okay.
I would suggest we do nothing.
So the recommendation, I didn't put a document number on here because it's not something that we are making a motion on. So if the board, will you make that as a motion that we make no recommendation regarding the
Yes, I so move that we make no recommendations.
White Lake Ambulance Authority proposed
Then you're gonna add your number to it.
budget 2014, 2015? Make that document, so your document 031014-07. Could you read Lyle's motion back with that document?
The motion to proceed with the White Lake Ambulance proposed budget for 2014 and 15 with no recommendations.
Is that exactly?
No, it wasn't.
You just want to make no recommendations regarding, I think the recommendation part.
Okay.
Could you restate it, please, Lyle? I know, but I'm just
I think you did a
saying,
good job,
you're
Laura.
stating, here,
I
let
make the
me,
motion that we do not make any recommendations as to the budget for White Lake Ambulance Authority
regarding document,
regarding the
Yeah.
document that you just
okay,
quoted.
And I support.
okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Fire Department, Mr. Chief, if you would kindly step up to the microphone. The first item on the docket is your proposed SOGs. And I think you need to make sure that they understand that 3 of the pages you're proposing additions to, correct?
Oh,
Page-
yes, right.
Those are
I was
additions.
going back to the other section.
Right, because I have those 3 pages, I think, in the front of everything, and then the SOGs are behind that. You're starting with page 85, 87, and
Right.
88.
Those were some changes in our previously adopted policy dealing with leave of absences. And we found a couple glitches in there, and as a result of these glitches, we added one sentence for leave of absence, active status, and I'm not, do you see that in number 2, leave of absence, active status? Okay.
I think you added
Hey.
3 sentences. It's that first paragraph.
Under number 2, leave of absence, active status.
Correct.
The first statement
Mhm.
is new.
Correct, the
Okay.
whole paragraph there.
Yeah.
Statement,
okay.
yeah.
And then
Okay.
on the other 2, you're right, there were 3. The other 2 dealt with filling in a specific number for the number of years. And if you go to page, mine is 89. Keep in mind now, every time I make a change in the table of contents, for example, like I just added a page, it's gonna throw the page numbers off. But this is, if you see number 4, leave of absence, medical injury, okay? What I added in there is right above that, the change is right above that, not below, but right above it. The duration of medical leave of absence shall be a maximum of 2 years. Okay, I added in the 2 years to specify it.
What was it before?
Before it was open, and it was open because I thought the attorney was going to recommend something, and I waited and waited, and then I asked Melanie, and she said, no, the attorney's waiting for me to put a number in there, so that's why I put a number. Okay,
Wasn't that whole paragraph added?
no,
Because I'm-
paragraph was there before.
I'm looking at my page 87.
That's what I'm,
And my page 87, original page 87, did not have that in. It just stopped with a firefighter on medical leave, the previous paragraph. Then that next paragraph is a whole new paragraph according to my paper. Sure. Here's what I copied out of my book. And this paragraph was not in there at all, in my book.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
So that entire paragraph
Yes, you're
is
right. The
being
entire
added.
paragraph is new,
Okay.
and the reason it was left out again was because it was just
Right.
open. We didn't have a number of years.
And that's the
period of
same,
time to put in there,
just so you know, that's the same information I have for the
Yeah.
next paragraph,
yes, and
that
that,
we had nothing.
yes.
Okay.
Which is the last paragraph, I believe,
And page,
on what I
yes,
gave you. Mhm.
the last
and-
paragraph is added.
And that was for 3-year period, for 3 years. Okay, that leave of absence, injury, we have 2 leave of absences for medical reasons, illness and injury.
Okay.
The one for injury, shall be a maximum of 3 years, and so on.
And then we have the rest of the information, which you did supply us with a draft of a table of contents, just because.
Yes.
Because I wanted it specified which one under personnel, which one under internal operations and
Right.
so on.
And since this is a work in progress, if I were to run that off for you today, it would be different than the table of contents I gave you because I'm continually adding on. And as I do so, things are gonna change a little bit.
So what you're proposing is the changes on these 3 sections
On
and
those 3
the,
pages, and the. Mhm.
ride-along program, itself,
That's
which
correct.
starts on page 118 in what you gave us,
Mhm.
through page 203.
Which is getting into the second section of the SOGs, okay? The board wanted the SOGs in sections,
Yes, we did.
so that is the whole second section. after the ride-along program. In other words, it begins with I-01 training, a required training,
Right.
and goes to the very last page of what I gave you,
So
which
it
is part of the
includes
appendix section.
IO training required in makeup, IO2 driving, introduction record review training, probationary firefighters, training firefighters, officers, emergency vehicles, accident and mechanical failure through duty shift. Am I correct?
Yes, with the
Look,
duty shift
the
being
duty
part
shift.
of the personnel section. I'm sorry, the duty shift being part of the IO section, you're right, that's where it is. The IO is internal operations.
And the duty shift is what we already
Proved
We
that.
already approved that.
Mhm.
So my information actually goes through disposal of fire apparatus and equipment, correct?
Correct.
Purchasing, disbursement, and disposal.
And that was with the, through the into the appendix section, yes.
Okay? So having do that, before we, I guess I shouldn't have been asking questions, we should have actually got it on the board first by having a motion and a second, then we discuss it. Trying to get into that habit, haven't got there yet. So this is document 031014-01, which includes those corrections and the new SOGs. Do I hear a motion to approve that document?
I make a motion to approve document 031014-01.
I'll support.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Debbie?
Yes.
Lyle?
Yes.
Melanie?
Aye.
Lisa?
Yes.
Don?
That motion is carried. The next one is regarding request for bids for the new initial attack fire apparatus.
Yes, I'm asking for approval to send out bids for a new quick attack response vehicle for at least a couple of years. I've been informing the board that there are places we can't get down. And there's no sense, denying it, well, can we send this down, can we send that down? We cannot get down, certain vehicles down to fight a structure fire. As a matter of fact, this past summer, we had a call off Fruitvale, just on the south side of Fruitvale. We had a hard time getting our medical truck down there, and so did the ambulance. As a matter of fact, we had to drive on the person's grass to get out of there. We were unable to get out of there. We managed to get down there, okay, after a little while, but we had to go over the person's grass to get out of there. In weather like this, and I know winter doesn't last forever, after this year won't, but we cannot get down Crystal Lake Road at all. That's Crystal Lake Road between where it comes off of Timber Trail, okay, the beginning of the dirt part of it. We cannot get a truck down there, and an ambulance is not going to get down there. Okay, these people have no medical protection. They have no fire protection. It can't be done. During the summer, it's not much different. The snow is gone. That road, that section of road, again, between Timber Trail and, actually, if we could have gotten all the way to Russell Road, that road, because of plowing, has banks on it that 1420 cannot get through on. It's hard enough getting an ambulance down there. We had calls where we had to get the ambulance down there. It's hard enough getting 1471 down there during the normal time of the year. Okay, but the bigger trucks, they can't. There's no way they're gonna get down there. I don't want to jeopardize trying to get these trucks down there. We did that once before, several years ago, on a call on Blue Lake Road, on the east side of it, between Russell Road and, between Holt and Whitehall, and I think it was Raymond Road. And we took lights off the truck because of the low-hanging trees. The truck itself wasn't out of service, the engine was not out of service, but the warning lights had to be repaired. And, you know, I mean, yeah, the people come first, but looking at it another way is that, you know, we had to take a truck out of service, an engine out of service for, I don't remember how many days it was to get the lights repaired. And if we had more serious damage to a truck, it'd be out of service for a while. And, you know, so we may have done something for one person, which of course we always want to do, but we're also kind of depriving the other people from, in the community from the use of that truck. Sure, we can call mutual aid in, okay, and which we would have done, had we had a fire when those lights were being repaired. So, but anyway, that's the main reason, and there are several other reasons that were in your packet that I listed for a quick attack truck. One of my goals is to make Station 2 self-sufficient. The truck that we have down there right now is a single-purpose truck, it's medicals. The new truck would be multi-purpose besides medicals. We have fires, there's equipment for PIs on it. With our new tool, which will be coming tomorrow, the old tool, we're not gonna put in service tomorrow, it's gonna be coming tomorrow. Our training's gonna be at the end of the month. But our old tool will go on 1472, so at least that's gonna bring that up a little bit to be able to do something. Even though the old tool is not as good as the new one, there's no sense getting rid of it yet. We can still get a little more use out of it. So we're going from single purpose to multi-purpose, and that's another reason for this truck.
Okay, prior to the board asking questions, I am seeking approval for document 031014-02, which is the request for bids for a new initial attack fire apparatus. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept document 031014-02.
Is there support? All right, board discussion. Any questions?
I've got a couple of problems with this proposal. To my knowledge, the roads haven't changed very much from 2008 till now. And when that bid was put out for the truck that you want to get rid of now, did we screw up that bad when we ordered it? Did the specs change, or what happened? You know, that's not very old, and for you to be saying it's basically worthless to us, I just don't understand that. If we bought something for our home, I would hope in 5-6 years it wouldn't be considered worthless because we bought the wrong thing. And secondly, I'm concerned about what you're gonna do with the other truck.
Your first question, I was on the committee for the chassis itself, okay? And our thinking, and I was new on the department at that time, our thinking never even got into beyond medical, beyond incident command, which we never developed that truck into an incident command type truck. Never got beyond transporting people, which we've done only once since I've been on with that truck, and that was for search and rescue. Our thinking never got beyond that. I didn't really have too much to say on that committee, but I never thought of it either at that time. Hey, some of these, I wasn't really aware that there were that many driveways that we could not get the big trucks down. So, no, our thinking never went into that. Your second question, what are we gonna do with it, is we're going to, it's gonna go up for sale. We have not discussed exactly how it's gonna be listed yet, and to whom. In my thinking, I think we're gonna offer it to fire departments first. We'll advertise it that way first and see if anybody's interested. Some of the smaller departments, it is 4-wheel drive, okay? They may want a truck like that, even if they don't run medicals. For example, in Oceana County, many of the fire departments don't run medicals. So they may have a use for it. And if not, we'll expand the ad to probably on eBay, Craigslist, something like that, which is gonna reach a wider a bigger number of people and a wider variety of occupations that might use it, for example, construction industry.
You also have MTA. You can list it through MTA.
Okay.
So,
I'm also questioning, would it be advisable to get an outside person to work with the fire department on the needs that we might have in the future and for now, to get some other opinions? So we don't make these kinds of misjudgments or whatever you might call them.
I think with the people that we have in this department, we're more than qualified to decide, to understand what
Well,
we
but we
need.
thought that in 2008,
Yeah.
that they were well qualified to make that placement.
Like I say, I was a low man on the totem pole there, and, you know, I just gave my input into the chassis.
Then my last question is, I know the committee changed within the last 18 months. How much different is the request now from what it was 2 years ago?
We're going along the same lines, exactly the same lines. This is what we started out with. A quick attack vehicle, so that we can get it down some of the driveways that we cannot get our big trucks down. That thought process has not changed.
Okay, so this quick attack vehicle, you already know will make it down the driveways now, and we won't have any problems in getting there for the fire, is that correct?
Will it make it down every driveway? No. Like I just mentioned with 1471, we could not get, we finally got 1471 down the driveway on the medical, but we could not get it out without going over the grass. So it'll
But we will
go
be
down
able-
the driveways much easier than anything big. If we were to respond to a fire at that house, now that we've identified it, big truck might as well stay right here. And not literally, you know, we do have equipment on it, but there's definitely no way we're gonna get that one down the driveway.
Okay,
So I'm not gonna guarantee every driveway. Our next step, we already started a list of addresses where we cannot get a big truck down. And our next step now is to expand that list, and we're gonna do so as we do our driver training, because if we're sending a truck out, we might as well make a couple uses of the truck, besides just, you know, going to homes and looking at their driveways and so on. As they're doing their driver training around the township, within the township, they can identify a lot of these driveways. So that's how we're gonna do that. So I cannot guarantee we'll reach every driveway.
okay,
We're gonna
but,
reach a lot more than we do now.
okay, you said that if you had a problem getting somewhere, you would call in mutual aid. Do they have anything better than this quick attack response vehicle that you're getting, or is that what they would use?
They would use a quick attack vehicle. We would ask for a quick attack vehicle from them.
Okay, so this is, right now, this is the best thing that we can use in the terrain that we have and the driveways and the roads that we have here in Blue Lake Township. What we're trying to do is do the best thing for our township.
Exactly. That's what I like to provide equal fire protection to everybody. And that's what.
And we don't have that right now, is what you're
We
saying?
can't do it right now.
Okay.
and part of that, Lyle, is that came to effect, you gotta keep in mind two things. One, we as a board looked at all that also, and did not think of the fact of the largeness of the truck versus compared to the size of the drives. So it's been a whole bunch of people that looked at it. When we found out was when that truck went out. And through the process of finding that out, the next thing that you look at is, okay, bigger isn't always better. We need to size it for what will work for our citizens. And we have the ability to tank in and shuttle water and all that stuff. But the ability to get there for our citizens is of the utmost importance. And we know that people are not gonna change all them drives. They're not gonna cut down every tree and trim every bush and everything, so.
That's what my next question was, what approach is being made to these individuals that are not accessible? Are you trying to get them to straighten their drive, or cut a tree, or fill in some holes, or something to
Yeah.
make them accessible?
We've done two things. The first thing we started doing was back, as I mentioned in the letter, several years ago. I don't remember exactly when we started. This is when I started putting a little column in the newsletter that used to go out. Can we find you, can we get there? Okay, can we find you goes along with the address markers, okay? Which is still a problem here, you know, it's, there's a lot of homes that, especially now with the mailboxes, partially buried except for being able to open the mailbox. We don't even see the addresses. That's another story. But the other one, can we get there? Okay, we found your house, now can we get there? And this is where I addressed the driveway situation. We need a driveway, clearance of 11 feet wide and 14 feet high. And that includes when the snow that's on the evergreens that line the driveway pushes down the evergreen branches. Okay? And, you know, you're not gonna know that unless it's during the winter. I don't know if that has helped. I have not received any feedback on that at all. I continue to post that, to reprint it every time that I have the opportunity to, with the idea that maybe it might help, maybe a few people will take that into consideration. Second thing we've done is once we started our heat loss inspection program, okay? Over the last, this is year 3 that we've done it. And on the inspection form that I have, down toward the bottom, I also have a little thing on driveways and address markers, okay? And on the driveway, it gives the specifications I just gave you. And also, it gives some suggestions that we've seen when we've gone up down those driveways and on what the homeowner can do. I went up one time, this was last year on heat loss inspection, and I was in my own vehicle. And I parked on the road and walked, let's put it that way. It was, you know, like the road here, it's like a tunnel, when with all the trees and everything, and when they're full leaves. This was more like a path. I was not gonna take my truck down there because I knew I was gonna get it scratched. So I walked in, did the heat loss inspection, and then talked with the homeowner afterwards. We went over the inspection with him, and we got to his address marker, no problem. Okay, we could very easily find the house. And then we talked about the driveway. I don't know if anything was done on it. But that's what we're trying to identify. We're gonna identify when we respond to calls, medicals especially. We're gonna continue with the heat loss inspections. When we do that, we're gonna look at the driveways. And like I said, in our driver training, we're gonna go through the township. And if there's a noticeable driveway that the driving instructor knows that we will not be able to get the engine or the tanker down, then we're gonna make note of that. That's how we're gonna develop our list. Dispatch has a way of flagging that, so that when we get the call, I'm sure you've heard our calls, we get the call and then it says, 1471, 1472, and 1420, whatever it might be for the call. On our run sheet, those trucks are mentioned over the year. Somewhere in that dispatch, whether it comes before the truck, it'll come before the trucks, okay? It's gonna be a code that they're gonna give us, and then it'll say 1471 or 1472, because this one here will go to station 2 and come to quick attack vehicle down there, okay? It'll be identified for us right away.
I would just like to make one other comment, and that is that I know a very good resource in our township that can tell you what a lot of the driveways are like. Marion Nash, our assessor, has to go down a lot of them, and she would know. And is there any way we can give letters to those people to let them know that they're in trouble, rather than just putting it in a letter that people won't look at, that goes out to everyone, maybe a personal letter?
We can do that. I can make up a letter very easily.
I'm just thinking that maybe that might help more, say, hey, we can't get to you, we want you to know that.
I mean, as far as requesting that they look at
Yes.
it, because I think that was started early on, and there was a large problem with a letter that went out that was demanding that they fix it, so we need to
Well, we
make
wouldn't-
sure we do it the appropriate way.
Right, we wouldn't demand, we would just say,
Right, I
we can't
understand, so
get
that
to
was a
you.
big problem, so.
I think what you're referring to, we hooked it up with insurance or something, and we,
And demanded that they
that's where
they
we
fix their,
understand that.
well, we need to make sure we go down the right avenue there,
Okay,
as far as anything that goes out.
if there are places, properties in this township, I think that Mary Nash is a person that knows more than anybody else about all the
Yes, she
different
does.
properties,
And
so,
especially the drives, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
okay.
She
Just
goes
a
through all the
comment
next
about
number of
it.
years, I believe, so.
Any questions, Don? Lisa? and questions I've asked Larry along the way, so I pretty well.
And that's why I gave this to you early, so it's, you know, I'm sure you haven't read the whole thing, okay? And if you have, it's kind of confusing. These specs are very detailed. We have never had specs this thick before we spec'd out a truck. This is everything, okay? As a matter of fact, Lieutenant Schrader was praised on his drawings on this by the truck, at least one truck manufacturer. In addition, we're sending out, we have the permission, we're sending out 3 bids. We've actually had 2 other companies who would like to bid on it, but their first thing is, we gotta make it bigger. As soon as they said that, that's not our goal. We don't wanna make it bigger.
So these three bid letters that you have in this packet for part of our approval is the letters you would be sending out upon approval tonight.
Yes.
Because I
And
see they're even
these
dated.
people will make the truck,
What
according
do
to
you
our
mean they wanna make
specifications.
it bigger, to have all these qualifications into the truck that has to be bigger, or?
They don't want to take the time to do whatever they do at their plant to make a smaller truck. Because right away they said, we can't make that, but we can give you this one. Okay? Or some came right out and said, you know, this won't work. You know, so they're trying to sell us their small truck. And their small truck is bigger than the small truck we want.
And I think we fell into that trap with the last big truck we got, was that whole ideology of you can, it has to be. So I'm not sure where we got astray there, but
You have no idea how much this is going to cost them until you start getting bids, is that
We
correct?
do on this truck.
Oh, you do, okay.
Yes, because we told the people, we've met each of these bidders,
Oh, yeah,
okay?
okay.
Matter of fact, our committee has visited the locations
Mhm.
where the trucks are produced, and they were told that what we have budgeted, $200,000, is it. We're not going above that. So that's probably another reason why other truck manufacturers didn't come knocking on our door, okay, because we're sticking to that. And these 3 people know that, and they're still willing to give us what we want, instead of giving us what they want.
Okay, thank you.
Lyle, you got any more questions? Debbie?
Nope.
Okay, we have a motion on the board from Lisa, support by Don. Roll call, please.
Lisa?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Melanie?
Aye.
Lyle?
Oh.
Debbie?
Yes.
Motion is carried. And Larry, you have one more, the Otter Township fire contract.
Yes, I believe that's come in. I
Yes.
haven't seen it. Usually
Okay,
Deputy Chief gets it.
We have it, what they agreed to was, the contract shall be from April 1st, 2014 through March 31st, 2017. The standby fees would be $3,700 due April 1st, 2014, $3,800 due April 1st, 2015, $3,900 due April 1st, 2016. All runs, $500 first hour, $400 each hour thereafter until back at station and in service. $100 false alarm fee when run is canceled before leaving station. $100 per hour standby fee. I think that's remained the same. It was just the standby fee that went up, I thought, what, $1,000? No, $100.
Yes.
$100 per year. The Otter Township Board did take this and approve it. They have all signed off on it. What it did is come back to us for your signature and the board's signature. So if the board approves this contract with Otter Township, it is document 031014-03. Do I hear a motion to approve this document?
I move that we approve document 031014-03.
I'll support.
You have a motion and support, roll call please.
Debbie?
Yes.
Lyle?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Melanie?
Aye.
Lisa?
Yes.
Motion carried. Larry, you'll need to see Lisa and sign the original, and the board members will each need to
Yep.
sign, please.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, Larry, how many years have we had this contract with Otter Township?
Before I got here, I don't know how far back it went, but it was
We
before I
could
got
certainly
here.
find out though.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it has been, passed by their board.
It was prior to 1990.
Nope.
It has been prior to 1990.
That's okay, thank you. No audience comments, thank you.
You're welcome.
I think we still can find out, because they would
Well,
know to.
I'm just curious.
Yeah,
It's a wonderful thing to be able to work with the surrounding areas.
I agree. Accounts payable.
Okay, dated March 10th, 2014, our payment to the IRS Treasury in the amount of $2,580.38. And I make the motion that we approve that payment.
I support.
Motion and support, roll call please.
Lyle,
Yes.
Debbie,
Yes.
Melanie,
Aye.
Lisa,
Yes.
Don,
Motion carried.
February 2014 Township expenses, general fund, $11,049.72. Fire equipment, $119.03. Fire operating fund, $6,223.64. Building department, $836.50. PTAF fund, $1,130.10. And the streetlight fund, $361.24, for a total of $19,720.23. And I so move that we approve these payments.
I support.
Moved and supported, roll call please.
Lyle,
Yes.
Debbie,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
Melanie.
Aye. Motion carried. Before we get to the public comments, does the board have any comments? Okay.
We have a race on the 15th, on Saturday, at 10 o'clock.
Ma'am.
Anybody wanting to come and walk or run a 5K? The weather's getting better. Hey, we have a half-mile fun run for kids 9 and under too, so just want to let you know. Thank you.
Mhm. And Lisa, I would like to also thank you for your service. Now, public comments. If anybody has a public comment, kindly step up to the microphone.
Yeah, I'll make a couple of comments.
Okay.
I'll be brief. Ken Mahoney for the record, County Commissioner. Just to warn you, if you're headed for the courthouse in a short period of time, you may have some difficulty in parking. We're in the process of building a jail in the middle of the parking lot, so that will end the parking right in front of the courthouse, forever, by the way. We have a guaranteed price of $37 million, which is $180,000 under budget. That's for not only the jail, but it also includes the juvenile transition center, which is across the street on the old Baker campus. And I have booklets from the county clerk for everyone.
Oh, good board, thank you. There?
Isn't that unusual, be under budget?
What's unusual is the guaranteed price.
There you go.
It will not change.
Public comment?
Yeah.
Colleen?
Good evening, Colleen Monty, 10115 Walsh Road, Montague, State Representative for the 91st District, and I just wanted to come and give you a little bit of update of some of the things that are going on in Lansing. We are currently working on the budget right now. We are looking to probably have a bump in revenue sharing of about 15%, and that's due to an increase in the sales tax that we saw last year. So we saw an increase in our sales tax revenues of 15%, that'll be translated out to our revenue sharing as well. We are also looking at a supplemental budget that was just approved out of the House last week for road funding. The Senate and the House versions don't quite mesh right now, so they're gonna go to conference committee and they will rectify the two supplementals. What I'm hoping is that we're gonna see the $100 million that was set aside in both of the budgets is gonna stay in place, and we will see some money come out here for our roads. What that means for our county, for the County Road Commission, they're gonna see a little over $588,000 that's gonna come to help them with the winter snow removal costs and for the pothole filling that they're gonna see this spring. And our local cities and villages will also see part of that money as well. It's all based on Public Act 51 and how that gets distributed across the state. In the House version, we had $115 million in a special road projects fund that was also part of the supplemental. It was not in the Senate version, so I don't know how that might get rectified in conference committee. I have been in contact with Ken Holka. I asked him quite a few weeks ago for his list of projects he would like to see submitted, and I've already submitted those on behalf of Muskegon County. So if we do see that fund stay in place for the supplemental, hopefully we'll get some of that money out here for some of our roads, for road funding projects as well. There's something else I was gonna tell you guys about. I can't think of what it is. But I just wanted to come and give you guys a little update on that, and hear any concerns or issues that I can take back to Lansing for you. So I can take any questions or concerns at this time.
This is out of the ordinary, but.
Audience member questions.
I'd like to know what's happening with Bill 5172 and 5173.
Those numbers aren't ringing the bell off the top of my
Those are
head.
the assessors' ones where they were.
Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you for reminding me. The assessor's bills, as of now, from what I've heard from the chair of Tax Policy Committee, that they are not going to be brought up for any more discussion or for a vote. That the language in those bills needs to be dramatically fixed before they will be reconsidered for that committee. And I think, you know, it was a good thing. I was very glad to see so many of our assessors from here in Muskegon County show up in Lansing to testify on the day that those bills were introduced in committee. And I think it made a difference. I think they actually listened to some of the concerns that our assessors had. And the other thing I remembered as you were talking, the other thing I want to tell you about was the personal property tax. There's a package of 10 bills bipartisan that is right now being heard in committee in the Senate. These are going to address the issue of the personal property tax. And I know there's been a lot of concern about that 20% gap, that it was already stated that our townships and city council cities will be able to recoup 80%, up to 80% of the PPT that they were normally seeing in revenue, but there was that 20% gap. That gap has been addressed with these bills. It is going to be backfilled using, from the state's use tax, which is currently going into the general fund. They are going to use that to backfill that other 20%. There's also some provisions within this package of bills of taking some of the burden off of the local assessors and trying to determine what the new assessments are going to be on these businesses. It's going to be put up at the state level, so the state is going to be responsible for determining those assessments and I believe collecting those revenues at this point on behalf of the townships and cities. So this is a work in progress. This is being heard in committee right now, so there's language that is obviously going to be changed as it goes through that process, but I will keep you updated on this and let you know how it turns out.
Thank you.
Would that include Consumers Power and the big entities, the industrial?
It does, so it does include those
So
as part.
they'll be getting the money instead of us?
No, that money, the state will be collecting it on behalf of the locals. So they will be assessing and collecting it on behalf of the locals and then sending it back out to the locals.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Lieutenant Bridges, Blue Lake Fire Department. I would like to inform you guys about this truck process. I am the chairperson of the committee that has put the research into this truck. Coordinator Abram, Lieutenant Schrader are my committee members, and we have put about 2 years' worth of our time and research into this truck. We have documented well over 1,000 hours of volunteer hours into this truck. This truck started out as a challenge because, as Chief said, your fire manufacturers, they want to sell you the bigger truck because it means more money. We held to our guns. We knew the big truck is not what our need was at this time. And we put so much research, effort, and Lieutenant Schrader himself doing all of our CAD drawings so they could not be manipulated by other fire truck manufacturers, that we have finally accomplished the truck we truly feel that Blue Lake Township needs. Manufacturers that we will be submitting bids to stand back now and look at this truck and say, wow, this could be a prototype truck. We have accomplished a very large truck in a very small truck because of the efforts that we've put into this truck. My nickname for it is the Mini Mighty, okay, because it is little, but it's a big truck. This truck will be able to accomplish all the challenges that Chief has shared with you in regards to the driveways, whether it's seasonal or just year-round. But I would like to thank my committee for all the time and the effort, and we thank you as the Township Board to listening to us, hearing us, and allowing us to proceed forward to serve our citizens in a safer capacity. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Hearing no other public comment, the meeting is adjourned at 7:16.
Do you want this back? Thank you.
Oh, you want me to put that in there too?
Sorry about that. I thought they were just like.
I don't like driving when it's dark.
You still on for April 1st? I checked my calendar.
I'm going up the street.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. As far we no longer allow it.
Good.
I accepted their rubber band. You did, but I got it now.
Oh,